I am speaking to you now because the hour has turned in a slow, bright circle and found your name again, and I will not let your heart wander without a lantern when the path is narrowing. I have watched the last 48 hours ripple around you like wind moving wheat, and I have seen you glance away from the message that keeps returning like a tide at your feet. I am not accusing you, I am gathering you. I am not shaming you, I am sheltering you. I am telling you that what you called a coincidence was a summons, what you called a distraction was a doorway, and what you almost abandoned was the exact rope thrown to you from the boat that is here to carry you to calm water. Archangel Michael has been standing at the mouth of your day and the rim of your night, holding a sealed word that burns without consuming, a message that waited while you closed your eyes, waited while you paced, waited while you argued with yourself about whether you are worthy, whether this could truly be for you. He has not grown tired. Angels do not tire when I send them. He has not forgotten. Angels do not forget the ones I point to. He has not chosen someone else. I do not send a promise to a stranger when I have carved it for you. He has pressed the word against your threshold and watched it glow like a coal in the dark, and still you hesitated, thinking you would come back to it later, thinking a better moment would arrive, thinking the noise in your mind would finally settle before you said yes. Hear me, the better moment is the one you enter by obedience, not the one you wait for by avoidance. You have called your caution wisdom, but it has been fear in disguise. You have called your delay prudence, but it has been a soft retreat that keeps you circling the same small field. I am not angry with you, I am inviting you beyond the fence. I did not make you to rotate endlessly around an old question. I did not make you to rehearse ancient disappointments until they sound like prophecies. I made you to step forward when the ground under your feet turns warm with calling, and the ground under your feet is warm now. 2 days have passed, and you think those 2 days are a sign that you missed it, that the door swung shut without a sound and you are left with nothing but a memory of almost. Listen to me, I do not harvest what I have not first watered. I do not withdraw what I have written with my own hand. The delay did not erase the message, it sharpened it. The time you took to argue with your own hope did not diminish the promise, it disclosed the places where your heart still expects loss. I am revealing those places not to wound you but to heal you in the root. I would rather you see the splinter that has lived beneath your skin for years than keep pretending the ache is random. I have watched you search for signs with your eyes while ignoring the single sign within you that never lies, the gentle weight in your spirit when truth stands in front of you. You know that weight. It is quieter than panic, firmer than impulse, warmer than excitement, steadier than logic. It is the atmosphere of my presence coming close, and it has settled on you each time this message has found you. You stepped away because you thought a holy thing would be louder, flashier, more forceful. But I am not a storm that bruises the shoreline, I am the shore itself, holding everything steady while waves come and go. You said you were not ready, but readiness is not a distant country, it is a door you open. You said you did not know how to receive, but receiving begins with the simplest movement, your yes. Your yes is the key I place in your own hand. Your yes is the lantern that lights the next 3 steps. Your yes is the cup you hold out so I can fill it with water that does not run out on the way home. You have been waiting for me to move all the obstacles. I have been waiting for you to move your heart. I will move the obstacles. I will divide the sea that frightens you. I will bring down the wall that mocked you. But the sea opens for the step, the wall falls for the shout, and the bread multiplies for the hands that start giving what little they have. Michael has stood with a message that is not vague. It carries specific mercy for your specific midnight. It carries a reversal for the shame that has traced your name with a cold finger. It carries restitution for what was taken while you were busy surviving. It carries a clean end to the loop that kept you walking a circle around an old wound like a pilgrim to a broken shrine. It carries a new assignment that matches the contours of your real self, not the costume you put on to be acceptable, not the mask you wore to avoid criticism, not the lowered expectation you called realism. I am returning you to the proportions of the person I dreamed when I breathed you into time. You have feared that if you open your hands, I will require what you cannot bear to give. Hear me clearly, I do not begin with subtraction, I begin with restoration. I do not come to take your breath, I come to teach you to breathe without the old fear clutching your ribs. The surrender I ask is not to emptiness, it is to alignment. You will not be diminished by obedience, you will be right-sized. You will not lose yourself by saying yes, you will find the self that was imprisoned under false stories. The burden I lift first is the belief that you are alone, and you are not alone now. Look around at this moment, the air is crowded with help. I have arranged appointments you did not schedule. I have placed favor in rooms you have not entered. I have whispered your name into the memory of people who can unlock the next gate with a single sentence. I have prepared resources that will arrive in a timing that feels almost late but will prove perfect down to the hour. I am retraining your sense of trust so that you do not panic when the solution does not come early. I am teaching you to recognize my cadence. When you walk to my rhythm, opportunities do not crush you, they welcome you. When you walk to my rhythm, delays do not poison you, they teach you. You have considered abandoning this very word because the weight of ordinary tasks keeps stacking itself on your chest. I know the small urgencies that peck at your minutes. I know the screens that drain you and the rooms that judge you and the memories that ambush you. I am not telling you to ignore the life I gave you, I am teaching you to order it. First things first, receive, then act. Sit, then stand. Listen, then speak. The strength you are waiting for is stored in the posture of listening. When you receive my word, you do not earn energy, you inherit it. You are not a machine, you are a vineyard, and I am pruning you to bear heavy clusters that do not rot on the branch. I am setting boundaries for you that are not fences of fear but edges of focus. There are voices that cannot sit at your table this season. There are habits that cannot ride in the quiet of your morning. There are rooms that cannot have your presence while I am rebuilding your courage. This is not punishment, it is protection. This is not scarcity, it is sanctity. I am making a holy space in your day where you will meet me consistently, and in that meeting I will install peace that does not evaporate at the first inconvenience. Your mood will stop being a weather report and become a river. Michael has guarded you through nights when you did not know you were in a battle. He has cut off accusations that you never heard. He has closed doors the enemy tried to slip through. He has watched over your sleep and your steps, not because I am distant, but because my government is a harmony of care. I involve my messengers in your story because I delight to crown you with help. This help is not random, it is tailored. When you felt a sudden calm in a place that always made you tremble, that was evidence left behind by angels. When you found a small, bright courage to say no to what you used to tolerate, that was a sword lifted near your spine. When you remembered a forgotten dream in the middle of an ordinary task, that was a parcel delivered to your spirit at the perfect minute. Do not call yourself foolish for nearly abandoning this word. Call yourself chosen for being held by it. Mercy is not an abstract concept to me, mercy is architecture. I am building a hallway where there was a wall. I am installing windows where there was only a blind corner. I am carving a skylight over a room that has known nothing but dimness, and you will stand beneath that light and see your own hands clearly, see the work I have set before you, see the faces I am sending to walk with you. You will not be isolated in your obedience. I send companions to those who say yes to me. I weave friendships that do not compete, do not drain, do not demand a mask. I am healing your history with community by giving you people who match your mission. You are stepping out of a story that taught you to expect sudden loss whenever joy rises. That story was learned in rooms that did not know me. I am rewriting it line by line. Joy will not be the prelude to disaster, joy will be the signal that you have entered my timing. You will not sabotage good news because you fear the second shoe falling. There is no second shoe, there is only the steady tread of my faithfulness on the floorboards of your life. Even the disappointments you still taste will be folded into a recipe that yields strength you could not have purchased. I waste nothing. I redeem everything. I am not asking you to pretend the past did not happen, I am asking you to let me assign it meaning it did not have. There is a financial shift I am orchestrating for you, and it begins with dissolving the agreement you made with anxiety. You believed fear would keep you diligent, fear only kept you small. I will teach you diligence without dread. I will teach you planning without panic. I will teach you generosity that multiplies supply instead of threatening it. Watch how I introduce one open door and then another. Watch how I turn a conversation into a contract, a skill into a stream, an idea into provision that respects your boundaries and feeds your purpose. You will no longer trade your peace to pay your bills. Peace will be the roof under which your provision arrives. There is healing I have already begun in your body, in the place that flares when you carry what is not yours. You will notice a new ease in your breath, a loosening in your shoulders, a clarity behind your eyes. This will not be imaginary, it will be the material effect of releasing old vows. You promised yourself never to hope that high again. Break that promise now in my name. You vowed to expect little so you would not be disappointed. I release you from that vow. You decided to apologize for your existence in rooms that did not appreciate you. I cancel that agreement. You will live with your head up, not because you are pretending to be strong, but because you are finally rooted in me. Bring me the relationship that confuses you. Bring me the thread you keep tugging that only tightens the knot. I am not afraid of your attachments. I am the surgeon who loves you enough to separate what strangles from what strengthens. I will not leave you lonely, but I will not let you be distracted by a companionship that betrays your calling. Watch for the gentle unrest that warns you when a conversation is rehearsing your old captivity. Watch for the bright ease that blossoms when a conversation waters your real future. I will teach you the discernment that feels like sunlight and sounds like a bell. You have worried about the timing of everything, and the timing of everything has worried you back. You have tried to forecast outcomes like weather, and the sky has kept changing. Surrender the tyranny of timelines you did not write. Place your calendar in my hands. I will give you divine appointments you could not have scheduled with all your effort. I will open a way in a week that would have taken a year by your calculation. I will slow what needs maturing so that it does not collapse under its own speed. I am not late. I am exact. I am the God who braided star paths and still counts the hairs on your head without losing track. Do not say this is too beautiful to be for you. Refuse the false humility that rejects what heaven extends. The beauty I offer does not flatter your ego, it feeds your soul. It makes you truer, not bigger. It makes you kinder, not softer. It makes you bolder, not harsher. The goodness I pour is not candy that rots your strength. It is bread for your journey, oil for your lamp, honey for your tongue so that your words heal where they land. I am sending you back to some places with a different posture. You will carry peace that cannot be provoked, authority that is not loud, and joy that does not need permission. When old accusations approach, they will find you wearing new armor. When old temptations knock, they will find a door that answers with wisdom, not curiosity. When old fears whisper, they will find a room filled with music. You will not fight like before because you are not wounded like before. Michael will stand behind you and to your right, and the fire you feared will become the warmth that keeps you awake to my presence. Now is when you open what you almost abandoned. Now is when you say yes without bargaining for extra guarantees. Now is when you take the first step, not because you see the 10th, but because you trust the one who stands in the 11th. You are not late, you are arriving. You are not disqualified, you are being refined. You are not foolish, you are brave enough to believe again. The last 48 hours are not a verdict against you, they are the testimony that my word will keep returning until you receive it. I speak blessing over your house, that it be filled with clean laughter, steady provision, and conversations that lift instead of drain. I speak blessing over your mind, that the fog breaks and the compass is restored. I speak blessing over your work, that it becomes precise and fruitful. I am speaking to you now because I have watched the last 48 hours braid themselves into a rope around your heart, and I do not want you tangled in what fear has woven. For 2 days my messengers have hovered at the edges of your attention, gentle nudges, sudden thoughts, strange timings, a sentence that felt brighter than the rest, and you kept telling yourself, later. You told yourself you would return when the noise was quieter, when the room was warmer, when you felt more deserving. Beloved, you are not late because you are unworthy, you are late because you forgot how wanted you are. I want you. I want you awake, here, breathing, reading, receiving, now. I saw the moment you almost closed this message. I saw the small, tired voice that said, maybe this is not for me. Hear me, this is for you. If you think I needed a stronger sign to reach you, know that Archangel Michael has already lifted the sign above your life and planted it in your path again and again. The reason it felt like coincidence is because you have grown used to miracles wearing ordinary clothes. That is why I am asking you to let ordinary things become holy again. The desk, the screen, the light in the room, bless them. Bless the second you are in. Call it mine. Watch what happens. Michael has been standing guard over the threshold you keep circling. He guards thresholds because thresholds guard transformations, and transformations attract resistance. The resistance you feel is not proof that you are wrong, it is proof that you are close. When you promised yourself you were done with the old cycle tried to promise itself it still owned you. It doesn't. Ownership belongs to love, not to fear. Michael is not only a sword, he is a key. He can cut the rope, and he can also unlock the gate. But I gave your will the hinge. No angel forces the door you refuse to touch. Touch it now. You have questioned whether your past disqualifies you. Understand, the past cannot disqualify who I qualified before the foundations of time. The past can inform, but it cannot define, it can educate, but it cannot sentence. Your story has not collapsed, it has condensed, like rain gathering itself to fall where the roots are dry. I have heard every prayer you prayed when you thought no one was listening, those short, honest fragments when the room was dark and you were done pretending. I am not only the God of long speeches, I am the God of small cries. I am the God of help, of please, of I don't know. You don't have to know, because I do. In these last 48 hours you have sat with 3 different fears, and each one tried to name itself final. One spoke about money, one spoke about relationships, and one spoke about the future you can't see. Each fear lied in the same way, promising you certainty if you would bow to it. Do not bow. Certainty that costs your peace is not certainty, it is a cage. Peace is the only certainty that fits the size of your soul, and peace is one of my names. Let me be myself in you. Let me stand up inside you until the floor under your feet remembers that it is strong. There are conversations you replay at night that seem to end the same bitter way, as if the last word were a lock. You don't have to plead for that lock to break, you have to accept that I have another door. I will not confine you to the rooms where others lost their windows. You were not born to breathe recycled air. In this season, I am opening ventways in your thinking. Where you used to take one path to despair, you will discover 3 paths to life: gratitude, truth, and courage. Gratitude turns the light on. Truth shows you the furniture so you stop bumping into what hurts. Courage walks to the window and throws it open. Michael has been whispering to your spirit, pick up the piece you dropped. You know which one. It is the discipline you once carried like a small lantern, writing, praying, studying, creating, stewarding your body, calling the friend who tells you the truth. Somewhere fatigue convinced you to set it aside for just a day, and the day became a week, then a quiet apology you never spoke aloud. There is no accusation in this reminder. There is an invitation. Pick it up, and you will feel how perfectly it still fits your hand. It was sized for you, not for your strongest mood. Carry it again. I have watched the way you explain yourself to those who do not see you. You use long sentences to defend the short, sacred fact: you carry a calling that makes you different. The right people will not need a map to find your heart, they will recognize the landscape because they were born in neighboring countries of purpose. You do not have to shrink your weather to make guests comfortable. There are people who have been praying for the climate of your soul. They are on their way. Do not open your door to the old storm just to avoid the silence before the new company arrives. You have asked me why I allowed certain betrayals to cut as deep as they did. Listen. The cut was not permission for your destruction, it was precision for your healing. I did not author the wound, but I refused to waste it. Some tumors hide under polite skin, a wound reveals where to place the medicine. Because of what you felt, you finally reached for what you needed. Because of what you lost, you learned to stop giving away what was never meant to be on loan. You will not spend the next decade paying debts you never owed. I am clearing the balance. I am returning what was yours in a form you can keep. There is a letter in the mail of your life that you haven't opened because you assume bad news when the envelope is thin. Thin envelopes can carry liberation. I am sending confirmations that do not look dramatic enough to satisfy your appetite for obvious miracles. This is because I am retraining your appetite to hunger for quiet fidelity more than loud fireworks. Fireworks fade in smoke, fidelity builds a house. I am building you a house of habits where peace walks barefoot and nothing expensive breaks when laughter runs through the rooms. You will wake up one morning soon and realize you have stopped bracing for impact. That will be the day you understand how much I have done while you were sleeping. In the last 2 days, I stood beside decisions you almost made. I placed a hesitation between you and a choice that would have mortgaged your joy to buy a moment of approval. That hesitation was me, not your anxiety. Learn to tell the difference between a fear that freezes and a pause that protects. Fear suffocates, my pause breathes. When you felt a softness asking you to wait, it was not weakness, it was wisdom. Your future is not fragile, but it does require timing. Even fruit that is promised tastes bitter when pulled too early. Let ripening be holy to you. Let patience be a form of praise. Michael has been battling on the edges of your rest, deflecting words spoken against you that you never heard. You do not need to track every rumor that cannot survive the altitude I'm lifting you to. Birds do not argue with shadows, they simply rise above where shadows reach. I am teaching you to live at an altitude where opinions lose oxygen and fall away. From that height, you will see new routes you could not see on the ground. You will understand why certain detours were mercy, why certain delays saved you from overpasses still under construction. I was not denying you progress, I was refusing to let you drive through a half-built bridge. Do not despise your tears. They have been holy water baptizing your next chapter. When you cried alone and wiped your face quickly out of habit, I counted every drop and hid them like seeds. Tears planted in truth do not grow weeds, they grow gardens. I am planting a garden in the part of your life that looked most like a desert. You will not pretend you were never thirsty, you will testify that I am a well. Those who come to you for water will not receive speeches, they will receive shade. I am expanding the shade of your life until it shelters those who once had to survive under harsh sun. You worry that the time you lost is unrecoverable. Time can be redeemed when it is surrendered. Bring me the hour you regret and I will fold it into a future that knows what to do with pain. Bring me the yes you gave to the wrong voice and I will turn it into a deeper no that guards you next time. Bring me the no you gave to your own gifts and I will unwrap it in front of you until it becomes a yes that sings. Nothing given to me stays broken in my hands. I do not merely repair, I reimagine. I do not simply restore, I reveal what restoration taught you to notice.